This is some spaghetti, and actually, it's not spaghetti, it's fettuccine. First, I boiled these fettuccine noodles by putting them in the microwave in my red bowl. And then I poured some vodka, creamy vodka marinara sauce on top. Now we're microwaving with my red bowl with the lid on it. I'm microwaving some steaks. They're lean cuts of steak with the vodka, creamy marinara sauce, olive oil, vinegar, onions, and bell peppers on top. And when we're done microwaving that, I'm gonna show it to you. Yum! I put it in the microwave for about 5 minutes. So we have about 2 minutes left. Red Bull recipes.
This is the spaghetti and meatballs that I made. It's delicious. Well, actually, it's not spaghetti. It's technically fettuccine because of the thickness of the noodles. And I basically always do the noodles separately. I submerge them in water and put them in the microwave. And from there, I let the noodles cook. And then once it came out, the noodles are piping hot. I think I drizzled them with olive oil and then put the vodka creamy marinara sauce, which doesn't contain any meat. So then what I did after I put, um, that's me putting the meat in the microwave. The meat that I chose to use for this one was, well, the first time I did it, I used uh, some steak, and I submerged the steak in vinegar, olive oil, and some of the marinara sauce, and I think I used onions, bell peppers, and cilantro, and some seasoning, some salty seasoning. It's like a seasonal type of salty seasoning. And then I microwaved the steak with the lid on my red bowl. That's my red bowl in there, rotating in the microwave. And leaving the lid on, I opened the little opening in the top so that the lid wouldn't blow off. Because if you don't leave a little bit of air circulating in the inside the bowl, the lid will explode and blow off the bowl. So I cooked the meat submerged in oil a couple of times, and that turned out really good. That is just the vodka cream sauce on top of the fettuccine. And once the meat cooked, I just dumped it on top, and it was a whole plate of food. But today I'm not going to show you the meat being cooked or what the final result was for the meat. I'm going to prepare a another dish that's gonna go alongside this, which is gonna contain some green leafy vegetables. But the Red Bowl series, that's supposed to be the Red Bowl right there, rotating in the microwave, which is kind of hard to see it. And for some reason, the numbers are backwards and upside down. But that might have something to do with the way my camera, when I use my outside camera, it makes everything backwards. But I have another jar of tomato sauce in my refrigerator. It is, I think it's garlic and onions. But I'm gonna add garlic and onions to the top of this anyways, and olive oil. Now, olive oil makes a distinctive flavor when you add it to anything, and you can really just drizzle olive oil on something with seasoning and fresh herbs and vegetables, and just eat the pasta with the olive oil on it or the rice. Now, the other day, there's several different varieties of canned tomato sauce, but the problem is that when you open the canned tomato sauce and begin to use it, you really do have to use that whole thing within a couple of days. Because I always fear that the giant jar of tomato sauce or the Hunt's can of tomato sauce, is going to go bad. So it has gone bad, but they make some type of technology where they put the lid on the tomato sauce jar so brilliantly well that it doesn't go bad because it seals out all the bacteria. But I think it's a better idea to buy small cans of tomato soup or tomato sauce or stewed tomatoes, and then you just get this little tiny portion. The little tiny portion is actually a better idea because you use it all in one day. You don't have to worry about it being left over or about it going bad or anything like that because you just use one little tiny can. So smaller portions of tomato sauce or stewed tomatoes would be a good idea to use. I think I'm going to do that from now on. But if you use the one little tiny can of tomato sauce, then it's usually not gourmet. Like it's usually not vodka cream. This one was vodka cream marinara sauce. So the vodka cream marinara sauce just had a touch of it. You could tell there was a little bit of alcohol that cooked off. Of course, it cooks off after you're done cooking the tomato sauce. There's no alcohol content in the vodka anymore. And I've also heard people instead of using vodka, they use beer. But vodka is expensive. So this is gonna, this is gourmet type of marinara sauce. So then, yeah, it's gonna cost more than the little tiny cans of tomato soup or stewed tomatoes or diced tomatoes. But you might want to get that and put fresh herbs and olive oil and fresh garlic on it, and it most likely will taste very good. And you only use that one little tiny can. You don't have to worry about it being inedible and spoiled in the refrigerator because I don't have fettuccine or spaghetti every single day. But I actually prefer fettuccine over spaghetti because I like the thickness of the noodles. It absorbs more marinara sauce and pesto sauce, whatever type of sauce you're going to use. The fettuccine will absorb more of that sauce because it's a thicker noodle. I just like the texture and the taste or the feel of the fettuccine better than spaghetti. Spaghetti's okay, but I just prefer fettuccine. I like it better. And you can also put marinara sauce on rice and potatoes and melt cheese or Parmesan cheese over the top of that. But I don't, I usually prefer to put it on pasta. Um, Rice, to me, it feels like it takes longer to cook rice than it does to cook pasta. And the ramen noodles or the those are deep fried in oil first, and then you boil them, so they cook really really fast. But fettuccine takes longer to cook than ramen noodles, and rice takes, to me, in my opinion, I mean it should take the same amount of time, but I just feel that pasta cooks faster than rice. So that's how come I prefer it over rice. And potatoes don't really take that long to cook either, but they tend to be heavy. When I go to the store to buy something, a bag of potatoes is kind of heavy. It takes up a lot of space either in the cabinet or in the refrigerator. And because I live in a hot climate, I put everything in the refrigerator anyways. So then this is the portion of the cooking session where I'm just talking about cooking pasta and using marinara sauce. Now, the next section I'm going to talk about is going to talk about making the prosciutto and spinach salad.